going on? What's going on? What's going on? This is your boy, Robin's your way. Robin is on the scene, going live today because I figure it is time to tell it how it is. To anybody that's watching, what we're talking about is why you are getting denied for funding. And here's the thing, it's not your credit score. And that's what most people don't know. And that's what I'm here to do, is clarify what it actually is so that we can get you approved for funding. So what do I mean when I say it's not your credit score, right? That's something to think about. Think about that question. If it's not your credit score, tell me this. What is it then? Why? Why is people getting denied for funding if the scores are supposedly okay? Well, let's talk a little bit about it. Because think of it like this. Most people think that their credit score is the reason that they're getting denied. But is that the facts? No, it's not. I'm going to tell you like this. Some of you have what is called a 680, or maybe a 695, or maybe you got a 700 credit score, and you're still getting denied. How does that make sense? Right? That means that it's not the real issue. It's not the credit score. You know what I'm talking about? Example, I've seen people with lower scores get approved. Yeah, lower than a 680, lower than a 700. I've seen them get approved because their profile was structured correctly. And that is the difference. So anybody that's watching this right now, if you've ever been denied, I want you to type in the words deny. Go ahead, type in denied. Everybody that's been denied before, go ahead, type it in. Okay? So what is that? Like, why is this happening? That's the question. We'll put it to you like this. Banks do not approve people. They don't approve people. Here's what it is. They approve risk. Think of it. How does that work, right? They are asking you one question. If they give you this money, if I give you some money, if you give somebody else some money, are you going to give it back? That's the question, right? That's what they want to know. So the example is this. If your profile looks unstable, right, and you're denied, well, what's the solution? If it looks predictable, then that means that it's going to be approved. So let's repeat that one more time. Think about it, right? You want to know if somebody's going to give you your money back if you loan them some money. Vice versa, they want to know the same, right? They want to know, are you going to give me my money back? Simple as that. And if your profile looks unstable, then yeah, immediately you're denied. But the flip side of that, which again is common sense, if it looks predictable, it looks like you're going to give it back to them, then yeah, you're going to get approved. That's the simplicity of it, and you got to make it make sense. That's what I tell people. Make it make sense, right? So if this is making sense to you, go ahead, type in the chat for me. Type in ready. Type in ready if it makes sense. That's all I need right now. Just type in ready if it makes sense for you. Now, we're going to take this a step further. right? Because banks are weighing the scaling, whether or not you are low risk or high risk. But let's take it just a tad bit step further, right? We got what? Risk, behavior, and structure, right? This is the entire game right here. This is the key thing right here. Banks want to know this entire game is based off of this. If you don't understand this, you're going to continue to get denied. This is what they want to know. What is the risk? How dangerous you look. What is the risk and how dangerous do your profile look? Your behavior. How does your credit look? What is going on with that credit profile? Each bureau. What is taking place? That's the question. That's what they really want to know, and your structure. How are you structured? How is everything set up? That's what the banks want to know. Are you set up properly? Right? Risk, your behavior, and your structure. Right? Let's break it down like this. Risk is how you look. Your behavior is how you use your credit. And your structure is how everything is set up. Example, some has the same score, different setup, and then they get different results. Yeah, that's what happens. Same score, different setup, different results, right? Your profile tells the story. Your profile does that. And just keep that in mind. And I'm actually like this. Comment the words audit. Go ahead and comment in the chat audit in the event that you want me to look at yours. Comment the words audit and I'll take a look at yours. And we'll see what's really going on here. Now, if you look risky, what do you think is going to happen? If you look risky, what do you think? What's going to happen? Let me show you why. Most people get denied. Why? If you look risky, why do they get? What makes sense, right? I'm gonna expand on this a little bit. You got high utilization, right? Cars is up. You got too many inquiries, and you got what they call a thin profile, right? High utilization. You're spending too much on that profile. It's not managed. It's not under that 30%. And when it comes down to the too many inquiries, we know what that is. You're just shopping too much, some desperate stuff, and your profile is thin. The credibility is just not there. Okay. So you think that you're fine, but to the bank, you look what we call unpredictable. Unpredictable. All right. Think about it. If it was you want people to pay your money back, show history that you have not just experience in managing money, but you have the ability to pay, right? So what banks do is that they avoid unpredictability. They avoid unpredictability. That's what the banks do. Don't forget it. It's just the way it is. So What's the solution? Again, you know, what is the solution? This is where most people lose. Most people lose right here. Okay. Give you an example. You apply, right? You go out and apply, and then what happens? You get denied. You damage your profile. You damage your profile. When you get denied, do you find out what's really going on and why so? And do you hold off and do you wait? No. Most people, what they do is they go out and they repeat the same thing. They just repeat their actions, what they just did, thinking that they're going to get some type of different results. You apply, you get denied, you damage your profile, and then you continue to repeat the same thing. This is that cycle, right? That is costing you your approvals. This is that cycle. Again, we talked about what's the solution. We're talking about stop applying randomly. It doesn't make sense. Stop applying randomly. So we got a cycle, right? Where, somebody has been redundant and they're just doing things recklessly. And then they wonder why they get denied. And then again, they're thinking that it's all about the credit score, right? We're going to have to dig just a tad bit deeper on this. And we call it like the funding stack. The funding stack. What is the funding stack? Let's get into this. All right. Now, this is a very important section. That's if you ask me. Okay. Now, let me show you what actually works. Okay. You got number one, right? You got your personal profile. Then you got what is considered to be your foundation, right? So and then you have your foundation, right? Then what we call it is levels. You go to the next step. Now you have what they call business structure, right? Business structure, that is your credibility. So you got your personal profile, you got your foundation, and then you get into your business structure. And what happens with the business structure? That's where the credibility comes in place at. Now, again, we're not talking about like just consumer credit cards or just getting some type of consumer, I ain't even say line of credit, but a consumer credit card, right? We're talking about like business funding here. We're talking about racks on racks on racks, so to speak. 25K, 50K, 100, 250K, 500K, $1 million, right? So when you're focusing on what we call the funding stack, now you have to understand that there's levels to it. I'm telling you what actually works. We're talking about like your personal profile, you having a foundation, then you got your business structure, then you got your credibility. All right. What's next? Number 3 is the business bank alignment. The business bank alignment, that's where the strategy is, right? You got to have strategy and you got to make sure that the business is in alignment with the bank, the way the bank wants to see it. Very important. And believe it or not, there's a timing factor, right? When do you apply? And timing is the execution portion of you applying, you getting approved. So if I was just to repeat this and break this down, you got your personal profile, right? You got your foundation, you got your business structure, you got your credibility, you got your bank alignment. You got your strategy, timing, and execution. Timing and execution, right? Now, I'll break it down to you like this. Here's one of the things that people forget. You gotta make it make sense, right? Make it make sense. If you miss any one of the above or whatever I mentioned, right? Your personal profile is not tight. You don't have your foundation in order. Your business structure, your credibility is not in order, right? Your bank alignment, you're not moving properly. You're not being strategic about it. And then your timing is off from an executional standpoint. How does that all make sense? It doesn't. So you have to make it make sense. You miss one of these, you get denied. You miss any one of those, you're going to get denied. So if you want this system, this game, you want this all to be mapped out for you, let me see you comment in the chat here, and go ahead and comment ready. Go ahead and comment ready. All righty. I see you. Comment ready. So what's next then? Like, what is it? Right? Approval or denial? Right? Approval or denial? Right? What does that look like? Approval versus denial. Right? Let me show you the difference. Somebody has, like two people, same score, but they get different outcomes. Same score, different outcomes. Why is that? Right? You got one person who is structured, and then you got the other one that's guessing. You got one person who's structured, the other person that's guessing. You got one person gets approved, another person get denied. That's the simplicity of it, right? That's the difference. Now, if you want to be approved and you want to be on the proof side, go ahead and type in the chat the words approved. Approved. I want to get approved. That's on the approved side, right? We're talking the difference here of being approved versus denied, right? I talked about you got somebody who has the same score, right? Two different people got the same score and they get two different results. One gets approved, one gets denied. Why? One is structured, one is still guessing. That's the difference when it comes down to business funding. Now, if you want to be approved and be on the approved side, go ahead, type in the words approved in the chat. Got it. All right, so we're going to jump right on forward. We're going to press forward. We're not too far away. This is not bad. All right, so we got two options here, right? You can continue to guess and figure it out alone. Eventually, at some point, you'll probably figure it out, right? Or you do this and you map it correctly. You get it mapped correctly. All right? Two different ways, two options. Figure it out on your own, or get it mapped correctly. How does that sound? You want to figure it out on your own? Well, you want somebody who got the game figured out to tell you what it is. It takes a little time sometimes in order to figure things out. You got to do a lot of research. You know, might have to come across the right person that you need to talk to help you with this situation. You know, but again, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about whether or not you're going to figure this out alone, or are you going to get it mapped correctly? Are you going to make sure you hit that home run off top? That's the key thing right now. Is figuring that part out. Which one is it going to be? Is it going to be something that you go through the trial and error? Is it going to be one of those things that you continue to make the mistakes that has already been taking place, where you continue to get denied? Or are you going to make the right move and make sure that things are mapped out correctly? And that's not even a rhetorical question. That's a direct question for you. What are you going to do? Are you going to change the game? So, I'm going to give it to you like this. This is what I do. Okay? You get your audit, right? From who? From me. I'll go ahead, myself and my team, we'll go ahead, analyze your whole profile. We'll analyze it. We'll show you what's wrong and then what to fix. It's simple as that. We're going to identify what's wrong, what the problem is, and what to fix. And then we're going to take it a step further and tell you where to apply. Who do you apply through? Where was their issue at? Where was their error? What is it that we need to fix before we go apply? That's where you get your audit in. Evaluation, identify the issue, and then you deploy. Don't go in backwards. So again, we're talking about why people get denied, why people get approved, what's the difference, and what's the solution? And is this something that, someone continue to just bump their head, so to speak, going down that same path? Or do they, so to speak, seek expert guidance? Do they get it mapped out for them so that they ain't got to bump their head, so that they can touch the capital that they want? And we're talking about capital funding. We're talking about business funding, right? We're not talking about a personal $500 credit card. We're talking about that 25K, that 50K, that 150K, that 250K, what a person needs for their business, startup or whatever, right? How do you get to that number? How do you get to that working capital? And how do you deploy from there? That's the question. So get your audit. That's what you want to do. And this is what I do. I provide the audits. Me and my team. We go in, look at the profile, see exactly what's going on, analyze it, and then we structure it according to who we're going to submit you to for your funding, right? We'll show you in advance what's wrong. Okay, we'll show you in advance what's wrong and what to fix and where to apply. That's what you're going to get with this expert help, this funding audit. We're talking profile breakdown, right? Fix your strategy. Lender mapping. Which bank do you want to go to that's going to give you money based off of your profile, right? And then we get into that whole application sequence, how to fill out that application properly to make sure that you get that funding. Okay. Now, This is for serious people. This is for those who are really ready to take it to the next level, per se, who are tired of getting denied and who wants to get approved. And they don't want to go through that whole guessing any further. They're ready to get approved. They want that direction. Okay. And so if you are serious about getting approved and getting funding, I want you to comment the words audit. Audit. Comment the words audit. That's what you want to do. Comment the words audit. And if you comment the words audit, my team and I is going to wheel you in, and we're going to help you get to the next level. In fact, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and pull up a link, right? I'm going to pull up a link, and I'm going to place it right here in the chat. Let me see if I can pull this up properly. Pull this up right here. And I'm going to go ahead and put it right here in the system so that you can go ahead and reach out. Okay. So, again, what have we been talking about? We talked about changing the game. We talking about going from pretty much broke to having a little bit of money. We're talking about making sure that you get approved and that you're not getting denied any further. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and provide one with a link that allows you to get set up, okay, where we can go through the audit and we can get you right and get you tight and make sure that you make it to the next level. So I'm going to go ahead and put this link right here in the chat, and one will have access to reaching out to us and getting what they need to get done. All right. Let me go ahead and put that in here. This is for those who really wants this, who's ready to take it to the next level. Okay. Booyah. All right. So there you have it. That's the link. You want to go ahead and hit that link, book that call to get your audit. Book that call to get your audit. And here's what we got for you. When you get ready, I'm gonna put it to you like this. When people are trying to get that audit, just know that we're setting you up the way you're supposed to be set up. This is serious. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and not just let me see here. Where's it at? Let me get you guys this. Let me get you guys this what you want. We call it a quick start funding. A quick start funding, and I'm gonna tell you what you get with our quick start funding program, right? We include full personal credit review, funding readiness, right? Custom 30 to 90 day action plan. We also provide you with your lender match blueprint. Okay. We talking credit cards, lines of credit recommendations, single inquiry funding strategy, right? Now we do this. We've charged $500. We charged $1,000 over the years. We're doing this for 97 bucks. 97 bucks. And this is your funding readiness audit. Review of your credit, your entity, your business compliance. We do a lender match blueprint. All right. Our top 3 programs, right, to make sure that you get funding, you get introduced to, right? We give you a 1-page business plan, simple, lender ready summary outlining purpose, use of funds, and repayment strategy. You get all of this for $97. Now, on that call that you're going to schedule, that's going to be for 15 and 30 minutes, right? I'd rather you make that payment, right? That for that $97 and then book the call. Make the payment, then book the call, because we don't want some looky-loos and people not really serious about the game, who's not really serious about getting funding. We want to deal with people that is ready to have that business plan, to get placed with the lender, and to make sure that their business is structured properly. And so this is for serious people only. You know, you pay the $97, book your call. In fact, when you go to book your, after you pay the $97, it will automatically send you over to our calendar link. So it's in the chat as well for you. Again, pay the $97, get your funding audit, get your profile breakdown. Let's fix whatever errors or issues that you might have. We're going to set you up with the right lender, okay? With the right lender, and then we're going to take care of your application sequencing. All right? And we're going to submit in the right order and at the right time. Right order, the right time, the right structure. This is serious. We're not playing here. Okay? All right. So, comment, audit, you know, send in the comments that you're ready to go, you're not playing with the game, and that you're serious about doing this. Got you. All right. Well, you're not getting denied because of your score. You're not getting denied because of your score. If anything, you're getting denied because of your structure. Okay? You're getting denied because of your structure. All right. Well, look, this is Robin's Your Way. Robin, I'm signing off. Be sure to schedule that call right after that payment. And I will see you guys on the other side. Thank you for joining. Now, I'm going to tell you like this, moving forward, practically every day, if not every other day, we're going to have some lives like this. So stay tuned, keep an eye out, and make sure you tap in for some more games. So Robin's Your Way, and I'll see you guys